Oh, you can't make this up. The player the Knicks were supposed to draft all them many years ago, Tyrese Halliburton, comes back to bite them in game one at the Mecca. You can't make this up. Y'all was supposed to have Tyrese Halliburton. Y'all passed on Tyrese Halliburton. Now he comes into the Mecca game one, where you are the favorite, where you are giving your fans orange and blue sky dreams of a Larry O.B., and he walks into the Mecca. You are up 14 with just a couple minutes left on the clock, and you find a way to choke it out. Knicks choke away game one at the Mecca in front of a raucous crowd, in front of a raucous fan base, and Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers steal. Steal is often used when a road team wins a game one, but there is no better definition of a steal than what the Pacers pulled off tonight. They stole game one. Knicks were up 14 points with 2 minutes left, and they tricked it off. They got gift calls from the refs, and they still found a way to trick it off. The Pacers were blowing bunnies left and right, and the Knicks still found a way to trick it off. This was a quintessential Knick collapse, and this is why, even though the Knicks have made it further than most had them, even though the Knicks fan base was running around throwing things at Brian Windhurst, even though Knicks fans were outside the Mecca throwing things and threatening to beat up a Pacers fan who had on a Tyrese Halliburton jersey just last week. This is why you hate Knicks fans. This is why you hate Knicks fans, and that's why you have to love, absolutely adore what happened tonight. Up 14 with 2 minutes left, Jalen Brunson getting gift foul calls left and right to get free throw after free throw after free throw after free throw like he's SGA. And yet they still find a way to trick it off. Let's get to the screen. You gotta know what it is, and you see it there in its all of its glory. Tyrese Halliburton etching his name alongside Kobe Bryant, alongside Ice Trae Young, alongside the GOAT, by becoming a villain in the Mecca. All it took was one win. All it took was one moment. And Tyrese Halliburton, who was supposed to be a Knick, walks into the Mecca and now has etched his name in the pantheon, the Mount Rushmore of Knick killers. All it took was one game. This is better than what Paul Pierce did when he was doing the airplane and Nate Robinson was jumping on his back. This is better than that. This was Knicks up 14 with 2 minutes left. And the crowd was feeling themselves. Easy work. You could see the confidence building in Knicks fans as they were up 14 with just 2 minutes left. They were already counting that victory. Now they were thinking, let's go up 2-0 now. The confidence was seeping through your television screens tonight. It was a fever pitch in the Mecca. And brick by brick, point by point, the Knicks found a way to trick it off. Karl-Anthony Towns, who, when you look at the box score, looked like he had a monster game. Where was he the last 5 minutes? All them picks for Mikal Bridges. Where was he the last 5 minutes? Jalen Brunson gave a lot of M's back just so they could go get Mikal Bridges. Where was he the last 5 minutes while the Pacers were chipping away at a double-digit lead in game one? Corey, I see you. We here. No need to wait for tomorrow morning. We know what is happening right now. The Pacers trailed the Knicks by 15 with under 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Then what happened? Aaron Naismith, not Naismith as in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Aaron Naismith made 6 3-pointers, called himself a phenomenal shooter in the postgame. The Knicks missed 2 free throws. Halliburton, foot on the line, forces OT. Pacers withstand 8 lead changes in OT. It was back and forth, helter-skelter action. This was good basketball at times tonight. The referees were trying to make sure that the Knicks get this game. How many times in OT did Halliburton go to the rim and probably should have gone to and one, or even Obi Toppin getting dunks in overtime where he should have gone to and one? None of it was called. But the minute Jalen Brunson would come down and do anything, ticky-tack calls left and right to get Brunson to the free throw line so the Knicks could be in position to go back up. The Pacers not only beat the Knicks tonight, they beat the fans, they beat the media, and they beat the referees. The Pacers were not supposed to win this game tonight. This was the purest definition of a steal you could ever imagine. This was a steal. A road team winning game one isn't always a steal. Sometimes the road team is just better. This was larceny. The Knicks were confident, as you see here, 97.7 win probability, according to the four-letter network analytics. With 2:51 left in the fourth quarter, 119-105. This is after Brunson hits a step-back three. The Knicks had a 99.7 chance of winning the game, and they lost. The 0.3% happened. So many double-digit leads. So many insurmountable leads. Up 9 with 52 and a half seconds left, and they still found a way to lose. Absolutely insane what happened at the Mecca tonight. And you could place a lot of blame on the Knicks side, but we need to focus on what the Pacers did here. They did not blink. The Celtics blinked in the last series. Whenever the Knicks got up big, the Celtics blinked. The Pacers did not blink tonight. And it's because they have arguably, and maybe at the end of this series, we'll have this answer definitively, the best player on the court. Karl Anthony Towns is probably the most skilled player on the court. But the best player on the court tonight in the Mecca was one Tyrese Halliburton, who was supposed to be a Knick. I know that was an older regime. Things have changed. The Knicks are better now. But this guy was supposed to be a Knick. And the guy that they took instead of him is also now on the Pacers, and he was big in the overtime victory. So both guys, the guy that the Knicks passed on and the guy that the Knicks passed on him for, both contributed to beating the Knicks in game one at the Mecca. Orange and blue skies. I want to see that tweet in the morning, Spike. Orange and blue skies. Let's go ahead, tap into the box score. Aaron Naismith with a 30-piece in game one. 8 of 9 from 3. I was talking with folks at the gig, and we were breaking this down, trying to figure out how can the Pacers do this, because all the momentum, all the casuals were just saying, "Well, the Knicks are going to win. The Knicks are better." Better how? Because they have names you recognize? Because you know who Karl Anthony Towns is? Because you've heard of OG Anunoby? Oh, that's why they're better. Watch more basketball. Aaron Naismith, 8 of 9 from 3. You got a horrible game from Pascal Siakam, and you still won. In breaking this series down, you know you're going to get Halliburton consistent throughout this series. I was telling folks at the gig, you need Miles Turner to give you something. You need some of these others to give you something. You're going to need a game from an unknown guy to help Halliburton get this done. And in game 1, 8 of 9, Aaron Nesmith, we got a game. Halliburton did what he was supposed to do, which was not a good night for Halliburton overall. When you look at the shooting percentage, 4-12 from 3, that is not what he normally is. But he still gave you 31 and 11. Only getting to the free throw line 4 times. You could at least count at least 2 and 1s, and definitely a couple of times where he should have gotten the free throw opportunities after getting hacked on jump shots. They didn't call it. He withstood that 31 and 11, walking off with a game 1 dub at the Mecca. You got something from Miles Turner. Very clutch early. I mean, this game got off to such a crazy start, but the Pacers hit their first 8 shots. And it looked like they were going to shoot their way to get in this dub. And then they regressed to the mean. They regressed to the median. The shots didn't fall in this late first quarter, and damn sure not in the second quarter. And it looked like the Knicks were just kind of steady and coast to a game 1 victory. Maybe not blow their doors off, but coast to a victory. Then in the second half, things kind of progressed with a little bit of a seesaw. And I think it was 90-88 at one point in the fourth quarter. But then the Knicks got hot. Brunson started doing Brunson things. Karl Anthony Towns was hitting threes and mean mugging and posing for the camera. It looked like the momentum had shifted until it didn't. Until the Knicks went Knicks. Until the ghost of Kobe Bryant with a 60-piece in the Mecca, with the ghost of a double nickel from the GOAT in the Mecca, of the ghost of Ice Trae Young at the Mecca taking a bow. We now have Tyrese Halliburton step back 3, toe on the line, be damned, bounced in the air, hung for all eternity. Everyone in the Mecca waiting with bated breath for that ball to come down. It comes right through the nylon. OT. You was just up 15 with under 5 minutes to go. And now we in OT. You was just up double digits. You were just up 14 with a little over 2 minutes to go. And we in OT. Those are the Knicks that I have grown up with. Those are the Knicks. Those are the Knicks that I have come to know and loathe. The timeline was quiet. All the Knicks fans who have been very, very boisterous, buoyant, if you will, extremely quiet on the timeline. All I could find was aggregate accounts. I could not find Knicks fans tweeting. Then when the toe was on the line, it was, the toe's on the line, we're going to OT. Oh, they woke up. The timeline woke up. So you got the Naismith game. You got a dub, even though you got a bad game from Siakam. Miles Turner was quiet in the second half. Nembhard was clutch. OT, really good defense on Jalen Brunson as well. Mathurin gave you something. Mathurin, gave you something. Obi, big and OT, gave you something. Even Thomas Bryant, whose only claim to fame is that when LeBron was trying to break the scoring record from Kareem, Thomas Bryant thought it was his time to shine. Thomas Bryant was begging for the rock in the paint when LeBron was one bucket away from breaking the scoring record. Thomas Bryant was, nah, it's time. Feed me, LeBron. That's Thomas Bryant. That guy was big in the second half and into the OT. TJ McConnell, former Sixer. Swiss cheese on defense when it goes against Brunson, but one thing is that he pushes that pace. He keeps up the pace. The Pacers are top 10 in pace in the league. I know Knicks fans only know about their team. They don't watch other teams. The Pacers are top 10 in pace. The Knicks are at the bottom of the league when it comes to pace. They want to slow it down. They want to methodically wear you down, hit you with Cat, hit you with Brunson, go into the line, methodically slow the game down. This is a clashing of styles. The Pacers want to run, the Knicks want to walk it up. And the Knicks fell into the trap of playing the Pacers' pace throughout this game. When you're up 15, you should be walking it up. When you're up 15 but under 5 to play, you should be walking it up. When you're up 14 with a little over 2 minutes to go, you should be walking it up. Instead, you fell into the hands of trying to play at the Pacers' pace, and now you're down 0-1 at the crib. Again, Karl-Anthony Towns, the stat line looks amazing. 35 points, 12 rebounds, 11 of 17, 4 of 8 from 3. Where was he those last 4 minutes, those last 5 minutes, those last 2 minutes in the fourth quarter and OT? You tell me. Mikal Bridges, who they gave up all them picks for, 5 unprotected first-round picks. Little 16-piece. Couple boards, 6 boards, 5 dimes. Solid defense. But he was a minus 15 tonight. If you buy into the box plus minus. Minus 15 for the guy who you surrendered 5 unprotected lottery picks for. And then you have Brunson, who gave back 8 figures. Some even speculate 9 figures to the Knicks. Forgoed it. Don't want it. Don't need it. Use it to enhance the team. 43 points, 5 dimes, only 1 of 6 from 3, including the air ball in the closing moments of OT. 12 of 14 from the line. 12 of 14 from the line. Tyrese Halliburton only got 4 free throws. A lot is made about SGA and him being a foul merchant. When can we talk about Jalen Brunson and his elite ability to also be a foul merchant? 14 trips to the free throw line, and he would probably tell you he deserved more. Even 11 trips to the line for Karl-Anthony Towns. So between Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, they almost equaled the total amount of free throws the Pacers took as a team. 25 free throws between Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. The Pacers took 28 as a team. Come on, man. The Pacers not only beat the Knicks, not only beat their fans, they beat the refs tonight. That's the most impressive victory of them all. I expect the Pacers to beat the Knicks. I did not expect the Pacers to beat the refs in the Mecca in game 1, especially having to watch that game and watch certain calls don't get called. Halliburton continuously attacked the rim, drew contact, did not get a whistle. Somehow Josh Hart has mastered The Roy Hibbert rule of verticality. Meanwhile, when Miles Turner does it on the other end, Jalen Brunson is always getting free throws. Somebody make it make sense. Mitch Robb. They were clamoring for Mitch Robb. Mitch Robb's impact. Yes, it was cute. He has a physical presence. He should be beating up on the smaller Pacers. He's way bigger than Thomas Bryant. Pause. So he should be physical at the point of attack. Where was all that late in the game? But that's right. You can't have him in the game because he's horrible from the free throw line. So it's cool when Cat's on the bench. You can get an extended rest. Look at the minutes for the Knicks. 37 minutes for Jalen Brunson, and that includes overtime. That is an anomaly. Karl Anthony Towns, 39 minutes, including overtime. That is an anomaly. Thibodeau was actually using his bench tonight, and it wasn't just when they were up double digits. He was actually using his bench tonight. The guys on the broadcast did a really good job of informing the casuals that this is not normal. The Knicks going 6-7 deep is the norm. Them going, how many plays did they play? They played 10 guys tonight. 9 guys. 9 guys tonight. That's not normally how Tibbs gives it up, especially in the playoffs. 6, 7 maximum. If he has to, if it's foul trouble, he might go to 8. He went to 9 tonight. And they still lost. This is great. This is absolutely great. I don't know if Basketball Reference is going to have the shot chart up. But I could tell you, let's see, game charts. Ooh, okay. Let's see what we can find out here. So let's look at the shot chart. Your man's Naismith. Look at these threes that your man's Naismith was able to get off. And a lot of these were in rhythm, uncontested. The closeout game for the Knicks from the three-point line tonight was piss poor. Piss poor closeouts on the three-pointers, especially for Naismith. Halliburton, they closed out hard on, and they fouled him a couple times, and Halliburton did not get the call. But Naismith, the closeout game, piss poor. 8 of 9 from 3 tonight. Let's see. Let's look for Karl Anthony Towns, fourth quarter. Karl Anthony Towns only took 3 threes, only made 1. And he had 3 shots. So 6 shots. Okay, 6 shots. How many in overtime? 2 shots in overtime. One was a long 3. That was an air ball. And then he had a baseline J. Again, this is the guy who is supposed to be obviously next to Brunson, whether it's a 1, 1A, or 1, and then a very short distance between 1 and 2. Those are your top 2 options. How is Karl Anthony Towns only getting 2 shots in overtime? Let's see. Who else got shots in overtime? Brunson only got 2 shots in overtime. Josh Hart, 2 shots in overtime. With all Bridges. Bridges had 0 shots in overtime. Again, 5 unprotected lottery picks. 0 shots in overtime for your man's Bridges. OG, Suni Lee was in the building. Usually when Suni's in the building, he go crazy. 1 shot in overtime for OG. Meanwhile, for the Pacers, we're talking about, let's find Halliburton. Halliburton took 1, 2, 3 shots. What was that, 4? 3 shots. 3 shots in overtime. This bucket here late, when he went to the cup, extremely tough bucket. Extremely tough bucket. Halliburton's finishing tonight was extremely elite. late in this game, late in the fourth quarter, especially, but even in the OT. Because let's see if we can even pull this up. I'll forego any sort of copyright stuff tonight. Let's see. What he was able to do, that foot on the line was crazy. It would have been so poetic if it actually would have been a three, but it doesn't matter. But the fact of the matter is that here, Knicks make the free throw. Here come the Pacers. Now, look at what's happening here. No trap. They're not forcing the ball out of Halliburton's hand. They're letting him walk up the court. They're letting him get in a good running start. He crosses up on Mikal Bridges, gets him out the way. Again, 5 unprotected lottery picks for him. Then he attacks the rim. He realizes, there's your man's Mitch Rob. I don't want that smoke. Puts the foot on the brakes. Mitch Rob can't recover in time because now it's a switch. So it acts as a screen, even though it wasn't really a screen. He just gets by Bridges. Robinson tries to cut him off, so he can't just go to the rim and get an easy layup to tie the game. Halliburton spins the block, pivots. Now he's in full step back mode. Look how far away Mitch Rob is. You can't close out this far. Even though he has the height advantage and the reach advantage, you can't make up this ground in this short amount of time. Halliburton pulls back, and again, that foot, literally a toe. Not as close as Kevin Durant a couple of years ago at Barclays, but in that same realm. Takes the bounce off the back iron. It bounces straight up in the air. Everyone is literally waiting for this ball. You see Knicks fans celebrating here on the side already because they're assuming that ball's going to come down and not go through the net. And what does that ball do? Crashes right through that net. And that same fan who was so lit 0.2 of a second ago is now miserable. Absolute misery. What a great game. What an absolutely great game. If you enjoy basketball, you can't go wrong with either one of these series. The Western Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals. This was great basketball. Great basketball last night, albeit in the blowout. Good basketball, even better basketball tonight. Highly contested, choke jobs, big plays, clutch moments. Jalen Brunson turning a rock over. A lot of stuff was happening, okay? Let's go ahead and see if we can get some post-game reaction. Halliburton on the choke sign. If I would have known it was a 2, I wouldn't have done it. I might have wasted it. If I do it again, people might say I'm aura farming. I mean, look, engagement farming is a real thing, so why not aura farm as well? 99.7% win probability, and they lost. Aaron Nesmith. Again, he's not doing this against chumps, okay? That is Josh Hart that he's shaking. So again, they're down 5 here, 27 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Quick little pin down. Jab step, pivot. Gets into rhythm. Hart is down. Hand down, man down, whatever you want to call it. Mans is out of position. He gets so high on his jumper again, not blocking it. Cash money. Absolutely phenomenal ending. Knicks tape, where you at? Knicks tape, where are you? I need to know what the hell is happening because ultimately what's going on is that the best player on the floor was Tyrese Halliburton. If you're the Knicks, you have all this money invested in the Villanova guys and OG Anunoby and Karl Anthony Towns, and Tyrese Halliburton walked into your home. He opened your fridge and he took all your food. What are the Knicks going to do in game 2? What adjustments do you see the Knicks making in game 2? Because quite honestly, I really don't know what adjustment there is to make. The Knicks played very well in all facets except for clutch. The clutch stuff was not happening. Should we redo that award? Jalen Brunson's Mr. Clutch. Do we now want to? Does he now have to pass that over? We've seen this before. David Robinson got the MVP back in the day, and then Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon walked into San Antonio, walked into the Alamo Dome, and schooled that man, and basically forever, in a lot of people's eyes, stole that MVP from him. Just took that right up off him. Is Tyrese Halliburton walking into the Mecca and stealing that Mr. Clutch trophy right up off Jalen Brunson? You're not going to get another 4 for 12 type shooting performance from Tyrese Halliburton, I think, the rest of this series. You got a bad shooting night from Halliburton and you still lost. You got a bad Pascal Siakam game and you still lost. You got a borderline bad game from Miles Turner and you still lost. You got what you were supposed to get. Karl Anthony Towns dominated. Jalen Brunson dominated. OG gave you something. Josh Hart was his usual productive self. And Mikal Bridges was Mikal Bridges. And you still lost. What's the fix? What's the answer? What's the fix for the meniscus tearing taskmaster, Tom Thibodeau? Again, he's not the greatest, X's and O's guys. He's not the greatest at schematics. We talk about adjustments from game to game in these best of 7 series. That's not really happening with the Knicks. They are who they are. Their goal is to out-effort you. Can you do that when the other team has the best player on the floor who's just as clutch, maybe even more clutch than the best player on your team? You want to talk about micro advantages. The Knicks won the board on the glass by 16 rebounds, and they lost. Now, they shot worse from 3. They were 11 for 34 from 3. So that's 32%, and the Pacers shot 40% from 3. But the Pacers, much like the Celtics before, they shoot them threes. Now, I can't say Aaron Nesmith is going to hit another 8 for 9 from 3. But I can certainly tell you, I think Pascal Siakam is not going to go another game not making a 3. I could tell you Miles Turner is probably going to hit more than 1 3. I could tell you Halliburton's probably not going to go 4 for 12 again. So you might lose some Aaron Nesmith threes, but you're going to gain threes from Siakam, Miles Turner, and Tyrese Halliburton. Again, where's the adjustment going to happen if you're the meniscus tearing taskmaster Tom Thibodeau? Where is that fix going to go? There's no lineup adjustments. You're not taking anybody out the starting lineup. You played your 2 best players less minutes than usual. We're going to just going to play them more. Is that going to be the schematic difference? Is that going to be the schematic edge? Playing Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson their usual 40-plus minutes a night? Where are the adjustments going to be for your Knicks? Reggie Miller, the Pantheon. We talk about the Pantheon, and I didn't mention Reggie earlier. So we have to extend the Mount Rushmore to 5. You're talking about Jordan with the double nickel. You're talking about Ice Trae Young. You're talking about Kobe. You got to put Reggie in there. And now, with just 1 game, Tyrese Halliburton is now on that Mount Rushmore of Mecca villains. 14 points with 2:40 left in the fourth quarter. All right. I wanted to come on here and give you a little bit of what's going on with this game. The game was that crazy that I did not want to wait until the morning to drop something. So we're dropping something here tonight. What is the adjustment for the Knicks? If anything, maybe you think, hey, this is just one game. Clearly, they'll be saying it. It'll be all the usual sound bites in the post game. Hey, it's just one game. We're not concerned. We're not worried, et cetera, et cetera. And they should feel that way. Knicks fans should feel like this is just an admiration tonight. This was an abnormality. This is an anomaly. No big deal. We can run this back. We can go get game 2, even this thing up, and put that unreal choke job to bed. Sure. But now, if you don't, and you're 0-2 heading to the field house, it's a problem. It's going to be a problem. If you're heading to that field house and you're down 0-2, it's going to be a problem. Where's that stat? I think I know what that stat is. It's like 900 and let's go ahead and talk about it. 900 NBA teams were 0-970 when down by 14 or more points in the final 2 minutes and 50 seconds of regulation in the playoffs over the last 27 postseasons. NBA teams are now 1-970. And that is your New York Knicks. You can't make this up. If you want that stat again, NBA teams are 0-970 when down by 14 or more points in the final 2 minutes and 50 seconds of regulation in the playoffs over the last 27 postseasons. They are now 1-970. Knicks tape. I love all the Knicks luminaries pulling up, showing support. I love the celebs coming out. It would be so much better if the Knicks had actually won something in my lifetime. It would mean so much more to see old Knicks luminaries. If anything, it's just a reminder of the losers you have been in the past. Sure, let's bring out LJ. Remember he had that one moment, the 4-point play? I also remember that team not winning shit over his tenure. Let's bring out Patrick Ewing. Salute. Yardman. I love the fact that Patrick is still allowed in the Mecca, unlike Charles Oakley. I love the fact that he shows up. I love the fact that he sometimes brings his family to the games and pulls up. He helped bring that franchise into this era of basketball with his stellar play, his Hall of Fame elite level play. He also didn't win shit his entire career. We keep bringing back these Knicks luminaries, which are just reminders. They're putting a mirror in your face that you're losers. You haven't won since 1973. Do you know how much of the fan base has never seen a Knicks championship? Yet, just getting to the conference finals has them throwing trash at Brian Windhorst, has them attacking Pacers fans on the streets just because they got to the conference finals. And that's why people hate the Knicks, and they love when the Knicks fail in epic fashion like tonight is not because of the actual players. It's sometimes not even the owner, it's the fans. The fans make you hate this team. The fans make you hate that franchise because they are running around planning ticker tape parades down the canyon of heroes just because they made it to the conference finals. Anyway, I'll see you for game two. I will see you for game two. I'll also see you for game two of Thunder and T-Wolves. Shea took the guys over to get Rolexes since Shams leaked that he's going to be named the MVP. So in celebration, he is going out and handing out Rolexes to his guys. Bruh, this is one of those. Let me see. I pull this tweet up. It's a great tweet. Pull this tweet up before we wrap up. The Pacers tonight, 23 points in the final 3 minutes and 14 seconds of regulation. That's the most in the final 3 minutes and 14 seconds of a playoff game in the play-by-play era, which is essentially since 1997. Knicks tape. Since 1996, the Knicks were 390-1 with a lead of 17 or more points in a fourth quarter, including playoffs. They're 390-2 now. I mean, I could read these all night. I could read this and sleep so good tonight after reading all these stats. Wait, this one's even worse. Knicks led by 14 with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the fourth quarter and are now in OT versus the Pacers. Teams leading playoff games by 14 plus in the final 2 minutes and 45 seconds of the fourth quarter are 994-0 since 1997. It is now 994-1. I just want all the negative Knicks stats. I want all the choke stats. This is an elite choke job by the Knicks tonight. We can laugh at the Miami Heat and their culture. We could laugh at the LeBron lovers loving a washed king. But nothing hits my soul. We could laugh at the Celtics in their, supremacy that they feel that they have. Make of that what you will. But nothing hits the soul more like laughing at Knicks fans. Nothing warms my heart more than laughing and basking in the sadness of Knicks fans. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No better feeling. The Pacers walked into the Mecca. Oh, we have footage of Tyrese Halliburton's father, who's been banned by his own son from coming to his games after trying to press the Nigerian freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He made the choke sign as well. And shout out to this other Pacer fan who's wearing a Ron Artest throwback. That's a throwback in terms of just an Artest jersey, but that's an even bigger throwback in terms of the fit. That's a throwback Pacer jersey with a throwback player, Ron Meta World Peace Artest. It's all happening. It is all happening. And if we really want to get into the Pacers, and this is a good point here. This is what the Pacers do. You can't blow them out. The poise that they have, you can't blow them out. Bucks tried it. 118 to 111 with 34.7 left. Pacers went on to win that game against Cleveland. They're down 7 with 46.7 to go. Pacers went on to win that game. And now tonight, 121 to 112. Room 112 where the players dwell. Down 9 with 52 and a half seconds. Pacers still went out there and won. Barkley's out here clamoring for the father to pull up now. People are already saying it's over. Knicks' mental toughness is what got them this far, and boy, are they going to need it now. I don't know what mental toughness they have. It's just they always play all the damn time. They play 40-plus minutes a night. I don't know what mental toughness that is, but, tis what it is. The Knicks were, so never forget, the Knicks were supposed to draft Tyrese Halliburton. Let's take a quick look at that draft class before we wrap up. So you can pull that up. Let me get that up. I remember screaming from the mountaintops. I was like, I'll believe the Knicks are serious again about winning basketball games if they draft Tyrese Halliburton. It was right there for him. It was right there for them to take Halliburton. And they went and took Obi Toppin. And now Obi's on the Pacers, and he was big in OT, getting a dunk that should have gone to and one. But because he's not Jalen Brunson, he's not going to get that and one. So many things went wrong in this 2020 draft. Let's go ahead and revisit this draft, shall we? Real quick. So obviously Ant-Man went number 1. That's still a solid pick, right? That was the right choice, right? The Warriors went James Weissman, even though hours prior, Klay Thompson had ripped up his knee playing pickup. They had a chance to draft LaMelo, who ended up going 3rd. They had a chance to, you saw it this season. They let Klay walk because he was washed. You could argue he was starting to get washed in 2020, especially after that second horrific leg injury. They were trying to replace his production. And you had LaMelo Ball, who was a bucket and a playmaker, who they could have went out there and helped extend the career, extend the prime, extend the peak of Wardell, Stephen Curry. Instead, they take James Weissman, who was a horrific fit and was never going to prosper in that system. LaMelo goes to Charlotte. That was the right pick, especially since the Warriors tricked it off by passing on him. The Bulls do Bulls things and take Patrick Williams, who is a role player, fringe starter. Isaac Okoro, role player, fringe starter. Okonwu, role player, backup player. Killian Hayes, damn near out the league. Obi Toppin, the Knicks right here, had a chance to go get Tyrese Halliburton. Don't take him. They take Obi Toppin. And then 4 picks later, the Kings go get Tyrese Halliburton. And now you look at all these players I went after. Cole Anthony, Isaiah Stewart. I mean, Tyrese Maxey, Emmanuel Quickly. Obviously, we know he ended up where he ended up. Jaden McDaniels, Desmond Bain. Like, there's some players here. But the fact that Tyrese Halliburton sat there all the way to 12 over the likes of Jalen Smith, Vassell, Killian Hayes, Okonwu, Okoro, Patrick Williams, absolutely deplorable. The Knicks had a chance here to shift their franchises. Imagine if Jalen Brunson could play off the ball and had someone purposefully feeding him. Like, that's the thing about having a facilitating point guard. You can have a small lead score first point guard. But the real move is to move him off the ball and have a facilitating point guard who can also go be a bucket, be your lead guard. Now, why it's taken a couple of stops for Halliburton to be like finally be believed in. Like, the Kings had him. They had De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton, and they foolishly believed in De'Aaron Fox over Tyrese Halliburton for whatever reason. And then the Pacers had to figure that thing out and build the pieces around Halliburton to, again, give him guys who can shoot, give him bigs who can shoot, give him bigs who know how to, rim run, dive to the rim, things of that nature, and finish. And now Halliburton has been cooking up, dropping dimes everywhere he goes. Tyrese Halliburton walked into the Mecca on 34th and 8th, 33rd and 7th. And etched his name up there with Reggie Miller, etched his name up there with Kobe Bryant, etched his name up there with Ice Trae Young, and etched his name with the GOAT. All it took was one big-time performance. That's all it usually does. You're not considered a great player until you go into the Mecca and rip out the Knicks and their fans' hearts. Let's just be clear. LeBron doesn't really have a Mecca moment. All the people that we consider greats, and even some that consider themselves villains, have those moments. Kobe walked into the Mecca and got a 60-piece. MJ walked in there and got a double nickel and then passed it off to win the game. Dropped it off of Bill Wennington to get a dunk to beat the Knicks at the buzzer. Ice Trae Young, multiple daggers in the Knicks' hearts and taking a bow at center court. Reggie, what was it, 8-9 points in a matter of just as many seconds? Chokes on the spike. And now we got Tyrese Halliburton running it back. Elite trolling. Elite trolling. Tyrese Halliburton is one of them. Jalen Brunson will get a lot of the headlines. Jalen Brunson now, because people were wrong about Brunson years ago, are now bending over backwards to try to overcompensate with overpraising Jalen Brunson. But the best player in the series should be Tyrese Halliburton. This is what he does. Let's do regular season. Let's see if we can get the splits against the Knicks. Can we do splits against the Knicks? No, we can't. Not on this page. I got to get Basketball Reference up. But just look at the numbers here when you're talking about Halliburton. Double digit or 9 assists damn near his whole career once he was fully given the keys. Rookie year, didn't really get, as much opportunities, but still double digits, gave you some dimes, then that creeped up. So the first 2 years, he gave you something. Split the season there. He gave you 8 dimes. You see the numbers had a big uptick when he got to the Pacers. Now the last 3 years, he's been him. He's been absolutely him. This is the guy who's giving it 13, 13, and now he's giving it 20, 20, 21, 10 assists, 11 assists, 9 assists. The three-point numbers are good, 40% from three, 36% from three, 39% from three. Tyrese Halliburton is one of those. And the Knicks found a way, being up 14 with 2 minutes left, and could not close it out. The poverty franchise that is the New York Knicks, your fortunes will not change until situations like this stop happening. The Pacers are top 10 in pace in the league. You are 26th in pace in the league, yet you got caught up in what they do best. You tried to run with them. Foolish mistake. And the meniscus tearing taskmaster Tom Thibodeau, he's not a good enough coach to make adjustments. He is a one-trick pony. He lays his cards out. This is what I got, and there's no other way to change it, shift it, adjust it, scheme. He's not going to scheme your way out of it. He's not going to X and O you out of it. This is what they are. We're going to play our way regardless. But tonight, at times when they were up big, up double digits, they did not play their game. They tried to play fast like they were the Pacers. And that's why they're going home tonight wondering what the hell just happened. When you're playing teams that play with pace and you know you don't play with pace, you cannot fall into playing their style. Your team's not built for that. Karl Anthony Towns is not a pace guy. Jalen Brunson's not a pace guy. OG Anunoby, all these guys are not pace guys. That roster is built for what they are. And unfortunately, they fell into the trap tonight. All right, let's see. We'll bounce around a little bit one more again, and then we'll wrap it up. Appreciate those pulling up and hit that like button. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and tap in. We're going to be doing live streams after games, previewing games, stuff like that. So if you're into that type of content, go ahead and subscribe, like the stream, all that good stuff. I mean, again, this shot was so crazy, bro. No pressure on the ball. You know Halliburton's getting it. So you got 7 seconds here. You know Halliburton's getting it. You're putting your best defender, your best on-ball defender, who you gave up 5 unprotected lottery picks for. You're putting him on the ball. He doesn't apply any ball pressure. He's letting Halliburton get a running start. He's looking for the screen. He's not looking at Halliburton. He is waiting on a screen. That screen is not coming yet. He was still looking for it. Now, again, he's over half court, 5 seconds left, and he's still not playing him close. Now, he's trying to avoid fouling him, so I get the thought process. I get the logic. But again, you've already let him get a running start. In just under 3 seconds, he's already damn near at the logo ready to pull. And then he crosses you up, gets you out of position. You're off balance now. Now everyone has to react. Now Mitch Robb now has to come off and step up into the lane, which then creates an opportunity for Miles Turner. But it also forces Bridges now has to recover now and cover Miles Turner, because Miles Turner can also shoot the rock. You see it happening. Bridges, again, flailing and fouling Tyrese Halliburton. They don't call it. That's a foul. It's a wraparound purpose foul because he's trying to poke the rock. Hits Halliburton, doesn't matter. Now, Halliburton, intelligently, smartly, presence of mind, whatever cliche you want to throw at it, decides, I'm not going to attack Mitch Robb because he can actually meet me at the rim and block my shot. Let me pivot, put the brakes on, because see, now Bridges is so out of position, he can't now go and help. He now has to go to Miles Turner. And as you see, Halliburton is already starting his step back. He's already in motion. Mitch Robb is at the dotted circle. Meanwhile, Mr. 5 unprotected lottery picks is now trying to guard Miles Turner now that he's actually recovered from getting crossed. An amazing shot. I mean, the ball leaves the screen. That's how high it was. It went over the shot clock. Straight down. Knicks tape. All right. Appreciate those who were able to pull up. I'll probably pull this audio, send it out to the podcast audience. If you're going to subscribe and tap in with the podcast, link is in the description of the stream. But I go by the name of the Sam D, aka Sam Dusemay Jr. I do live streams here. I do standalone content, video essays, anything revolving sports and sports media. I am a 15 plus year sports media veteran. So I give a lot of insight in the sports media industry and how it relates to how the games are actually covered. And I'm just a big sports fan that has been watching games for a very long time. So I bring that analysis and history here to this channel. So if you like that type of content, go ahead and tap in. And I will holla at y'all after game 2 of Wolves and Thunder. Hopefully the Wolves will find a way to score more than he did against OKC in game 1 to make this thing a series. But Ant-Man says he thinks he's figured them out. We'll see how that goes. So I go by the name of the Sam D, aka Sam Dusemay Jr. I appreciate all the y'all who pulled up. Hit that like button on the way out. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll holla at y'all later. Peace.